Hello and welcome to the IP Study video lectures. Today we are going to cover the chapter called Microorganism. The topics we are going to cover are characteristics of microorganisms, types of microorganisms, common diseases caused by microorganisms, food preservation and nitrogen cycle. We all have gone through COVID-19 pandemic. Do you know what is the cause for the COVID-19 pandemic? It is caused by coronavirus. Now you might ask, what are coronavirus? Well, coronavirus are the microorganisms. Can you guess what are microorganisms? Well, today we are going to learn about microorganisms and their types. Let us start with characteristics of microorganisms. So, microorganisms are very minute organisms. They are very smaller in size and you cannot see it from your eyes directly. These organisms are present in the world like millions of years ago. First organism you can say that present on the earth are microorganisms. They are also living like all other organisms, but they are so small in size that we cannot see it. Even while we are talking, you can feel they are around ourselves. We cannot see it, but they are present everywhere. Some are useful and some are harmful. And the study of these microorganisms, which are also known as microbes, is known as microbiology. So, let us start with each characteristic one by one. First is habitat. What are habitat? Habitats are the places where organisms are found, where they live and reside and reproduce. In case of microorganism, like I have already told you, it is present everywhere. In the air, water, soil, everywhere. That is why we are asked to drink the boiled water. Why do we need to drink the boiled water or emphasize on cleaning the water? The very reason for this is presence of microorganism in it. So, microorganisms are present on land, in water, air, soil. They are also found in very extreme conditions where human beings are rarely present, such as polar regions, hot springs, salty water, marshy land. Some of the microorganisms are also present on the dead and decaying organic matter. Let us now discuss about their size. I have already told you that microorganisms are very smaller in size. They are minute and cannot be observed by the naked eyes. However, their size varies within their category also. Some are of very few micron in size, while others are reach up to few centimeters. For example, we cannot observe bacteria easily. It is very smaller in size. However, amoeba, it is also a microorganism. We can observe it using under ordinary microscope. How can we observe microorganism? We observe microorganism with the help of an instrument called microscope. You can observe it on your screen. This device is called microscope. You can easily observe them in your biology lab. A small particle or a small object is kept here and it is seen with the help of seen here. And you can see the enlarged view of very small object with the help of a microscope. You all might have experienced the use of microscope while studying the onion peel or human cheek cell. It increases the size of any smaller object from 20 to 400 times. Let us now continue with other features. Microorganisms have adaptive features. They can survive in the extreme temperature and dryness by forming a structure called cyst. Cyst is the outer covering which prevents them from dying. Now that we have covered the basic characteristics of microorganism, let us understand different types of microorganism. Types of microorganism. All the microorganisms are divided into 5 major groups. They are bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, viruses. I have already told you that coronavirus caused the pandemic. Well, it belongs to this category of microorganism, which is viruses. Let us take each one of them in details. First is bacteria. You might have heard that often doctor recommends you antibiotics. Can you guess what is the role of that antibiotic? Well, antibiotics are used or consumed, it should be consumed cautiously, are consumed to kill the bacteria in your body. Like all the organisms, whether they are plants, animals or humans, we all can be easily attacked by microorganisms. We all are prone to microorganisms. That is why there are certain medicines to protect us from these organisms once we get attacked by them. Let's take bacteria first. Bacteria are the simplest microorganism. They are unicellular. Unicellular means single celled. Uni is one and cellular means cell. What are cells? Cells are the structural unit. All the living organisms are made up of very smaller unit, which is cell. Shape and size of the cell may vary, but every organism starts as a cell, that it increase in number and become a large organism. However, some of the organisms do not increase in number, they remain single celled. Bacteria are among those which are single celled. You might be interested to know that the first living organism which we found on the earth was cyanobacterium, also known as blue-green algae. So, let's cover the size of bacteria. The size of bacteria vary from 0.2 to 100 micron. They are much smaller organisms compared to other organisms. Let's cover the shape of the bacteria. There are 4 basic shapes in which most of the bacteria are divided. These shapes are rod-shaped bacteria, ball-shaped bacteria, spiral-shaped bacteria and comma-shaped bacteria. If you can observe this image, you can easily identify that this is rod-shaped as it forms a single rod-like appearance. This is coccus or ball-shaped. Why it is coccus? Because it is ball-shaped, because it is circular in nature. There are spiral-shaped. You can see a spiral is formed here. And other are called vibrio or comma-shaped. Why comma-shaped? If you can keenly observe the image, you can see that head is forming a structure like a comma. We make comma like this, and you can see the image. It also appears like this, like comma. Now let us understand some of the uses of bacteria. Microorganisms are both useful and harmful. Some are very useful, some are harmful. In your previous class, you have already studied that some of the bacteria have symbiotic relationship with human beings, such as E. coli. Similarly, there are other microorganisms also which have good relationship with human being, are necessary for human survival. First, we go through the useful bacteria. Bacteria have several uses. It starts with like I have already told you, making medicine. I have told you that antibiotics are required to kill the bacteria. We use it, we consume it to kill the harmful bacteria, all the bacteria which we are prone to. But do you know that all these medicines are produced with the help of bacteria itself? Several antibiotics like streptomycin, chloromycetin, aureomycin, they all are obtained from bacteria. Antibiotics help us cure the variety of diseases caused by bacteria such as typhoid. Another use of bacteria is lactobacillus. It helps in the formation of curd. So the curd you are eating in your food contains large number of bacteria. Another use they are also used in making different products from the milk such as cheese, curd. And the process which involved in the formation is known as fermentation. So what is fermentation? Well, fermentation is the process by which sugar convert alcohol with the help of microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. We will cover fungi later. First focus on bacteria. Another usage of bacteria is in the beverage industry for formation of tea. All of you have consumed tea. Tea formation, the curling of tea leaves involve the bacteria. Even not only tea, coffee and even the chocolate which you are eating, which is produced from the cocoa, also need bacteria for its growth. Bacteria help in the ripening of the tea leaves. It gives special characteristic like flavor and aroma. So the taste you are getting in the tea is all because of good bacteria. Another use of bacteria is in production of wines and vinegar. Bacteria act on the fruit juices to produce wine and vinegar. Well, wine is formed with the grape juice. So the bacteria act on those grape juice to form the alcohol. One of the important use of bacteria is in decomposition. Why use of bacteria is important in this? Because decomposition is necessary for the cleaning of environment. If there is no bacteria or fungi left on the earth, then there will not be decomposition of dead material. Another important use of bacteria is in nitrogen fixation. What is nitrogen fixation? As you already know that most of the nutrients plants get from the soil. However, nitrogen is present only in the environment in large amount. Around 70% of our environment is made up of nitrogen. Plants do not get the nitrogen directly. So the bacteria are present in some of the plants. For example, they are present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant, from where they fixes the atmospheric nitrogen and provide it for the plants. The process in which these bacteria convert the atmospheric nitrogen into simple nitrogen, which is nitrate, is known as nitrogen fixation. Apart from good bacteria, there are bad bacteria, which are harmful bacteria. Let's cover them one by one. Bacteria are responsible for diseases also. You might have heard several times that you do not eat the food kept outside for long period. It can cause diseases. Sometimes you eat the food and you feel pain in the stomach or you feel like puking. All this is because of the bacteria Clostridium botulinum. These bacteria are present mostly in the soil. However, they infect animals and humans also, and they cause food poisoning. So whenever you are feeling stomach pain or feeling vomiting after eating the food outside which is not healthy, you will suffer from the food poisoning due to presence of Clostridium. Apart from them, bacteria are also responsible for diseases such as tuberculosis, pneumonia, cholera. Another type of microorganism are algae. Algae are simple. They are like plants. That is why they are often said smaller plants. They have some features which are similar to the plants, such as cell wall and chlorophyll. Can you tell me what is the role of chlorophyll? Yes, chlorophyll helps in the process called photosynthesis. Therefore, algae also undergo the process of photosynthesis to produce their food. Let us now go through their structure and size. Algae can be unicellular like bacteria or can be multicellular. Their size ranges from 1 micron to 60 meter. There are very large algae too, which are called large seaweeds, also known as kelp. Their size can reach up to 30 meters. Now, let us understand their habitat. Habitats already you know that is the living condition. All the algae are found in wet and moist places, means they need water. Most of them are aquatic, found in fresh water as well as seawater. You often have seen that in the pond area or in the riverside, you often see green color growth on the surface of the water. That very green color growth is known as algae. If during rainy season also, or the area surrounding the water like your water tank or near the taps or near the any water disposable area, you can easily observe the bluish green color outgrowth. That is algae. Let us now cover the importance of algae. Algae is used as a food. It is used in various industries. I have already told you that it supplies large amount of oxygen as they go to the process of photosynthesis, result in the release of oxygen. They are also responsible for nitrogen fixation. I have already told you the example of Rhizobium. It is a blue-green colored algae which is present in the roots of the leguminous plant. So in the food, in certain countries like China and Japan, seaweed, which is also known as kelp, is eaten as a food. You know that jelly-like appearance, often you eat the jelly or other things where you can see the jelly formation. Algae is responsible for the production of that food. Algae help in the thickenings of jelly, puddings and ice creams. In industry, they are used for the production of agar-agar. In the laboratories, this agar-agar is used as a food material to grow the smaller microorganisms. Brown algae is a rich source of sodium, iodine and potassium. Let us now cover the harmful algae. Algae can cause algal bloom. You can observe this image. This is the image of algal bloom. The whole water surface is covered with algae, preventing the underwater organism like fish or crab getting the water. They become poisonous. Some of them become poisonous and pollute the drinking water or any water. Let us now cover another topic, which is fungi. Fungi are also type of microorganism. What is fungi? If you take a bread and sprinkle a few drops of water and left it outside for 2 to 3 days, you will see small whitish greenish appearance of the food. That appearance is the fungi. Fungi can grow in the dark surface. They do not have chlorophyll, so they do not undergo the process of photosynthesis. However, they feed on the decomposing plants and animals. They undergo the saprophytic mode of nutrition. Saprophytic mode of nutrition is a type of nutrition in which organisms consume their food from the dead and decaying material. Fungi are both unicellular and multicellular. Can you guess, have you ever eaten any fungi? Take a wild guess. Well, the mushroom you are eating in your food is fungi. Let us now continue with useful fungi. Fungi is used in the food industry. They are used in beverage industry. They are also used in medicines. Do you know that the first antibiotic is made from fungi called penicillium, and its discovery was also very interesting. What happened? One day, scientists started growing the bacteria in a plate. After few days, they observed the area which is covered by fungi called penicillium is not seeing the growth of the bacteria. This gave them the idea of production of antibiotics. Let us take another example for the use of fungi. In the food industry, you already know most of us consume the mushroom. It is used as a food. Yeast is very important fungi. All the baking industry is dependent on it. Do you know why? Earlier, when yeast is not included in the food, in making of a bread, the bread was simply very flat and hard. After the including of the yeast in the bread making, it becomes soft in texture and it becomes fluffy. Cheese is also made with the help of fungi. In industries, in the beverage industry, yeast is also used in making wine. Both bacteria and fungi, both are used in wine preparation, and it is also used in the beer formation. Let us now cover the harmful fungi. Fungi not only useful in food and everything, but they can also be responsible in food spoilage. They can release dangerous poisons which can cause food poisoning in us. As for one of the common example is Aspergillus flavus. It can cause several kind of diseases in our body. It releases a toxic called aflatoxin, which can spoil so many foods. The diseases, some of the common diseases caused by fungi is fatal skin disease, lung infection, and the fungi responsible for this is Candida. Now that we have covered fungi, let us go with another microorganism known as protozoa. Protozoa are unicellular microorganisms. They have animal-like appearance. Amoeba is one of the protozoa. They are bigger than bacteria. They are found in dirty areas like dirty water, pond, oceans. They are depend on another organism for the food. Since they are animal-like, so they have habit of animal-like. They do not produce their own food. They are dependent on another animal for their food. One of the most common disease caused by protozoa is malaria. You might say that malaria is caused by mosquito. It is true. Malaria is caused by mosquito, but how? In the mosquito, there is this protozoa present known as Plasmodium vivax. When mosquito bite us, they inject this plasmodium in our body, and this very parasite cause the disease in our body. Another type of microorganism is virus. I have already told you about the coronavirus, which is responsible for the death of many people in 2020 because they caused the COVID-19. Do you know that? Similar to those viruses, there are many number of viruses. One of the peculiar features they are very smallest. They are smaller than bacteria. And one of the interesting feature of this virus is that they are both living and non-living. You are confused, right? How they are living when they are not inside the body of their host. Host can be another plant, animal or human. They appear non-living. Once they enter the body of their host, they appear living. They reproduce, they grow, they move. Isn't it interesting about them? They appear everywhere, including the human body, and they even attack bacteria. One of the bacterial viruses are bacteriophages. They infect the bacterial cell. Can you imagine? A bacteria is such a small organism, and even though they also get infected by these viruses, their shape can vary. They can take any shape like cubical, spherical, polygonal. Their size is like 0.015 micron to 0.2 microns. Let's now come to the food preservation topic. You have already known that food is spoiled by smaller microorganisms such as fungi and bacteria. So how can we save or protect our food? There are multiple types of procedures or multiple methods through which we can protect our food. First, let's take the definition of food preservation. It is the treatment giving to the perishable food. Perishable food means easily get destroyed or get rotten. Those foods are the perishable food. So the food preservation is the treatment given to these perishable food to increase their retention so that they have longer shelf life. Why do we need to preserve the food? We already know the increase in the hunger, increase in the population, and there is large sum of wastage of food. So to prevent the wastage and to make the food available for larger population, food preservation is really necessary. Let us go through each one of them one by one. The first method of food preservation is dehydration. It is the simplest form of method. It has been done for ages. So if you have eaten potato chips, all these are due to the help of dehydration, in which simply food is kept under the sunlight and all the water from that food is removed and sun drying is done. It is mainly done for the vegetables, meat, fish. Another type of method of preservation is by salt and sugar. You might have seen your parents making a pickle at home. What they do, they take large amount of salt and add in their mango or in other vegetable to make a pickle. Why do they add such a large amount of salt? So that no bacteria or fungi can grow on it. It can be used to preserve raw mango, amla, beans, fish. You all have eaten the jams. Do you know that jams are made from the fruits and they are made by adding huge amount of sugar. That is why your jam can go for 6 months or 8 months. If you keep the same fruit, for example, I give you a mango jam and then I give you a mango fruit. I ask you to keep it on the table or in the refrigerator for like 1 year. Is it possible? No. Jam might be present there in same condition, but if you go through the mango fruit, it will be rotten within a few days. So how this jam, which is made from the same fruit, can remain for 1 year but not fruit? Because of the presence of amount of sugar. What sugar do? Sugar reduce the moisture of the fruit and prevents microorganisms from growing on it. Another method is deep freezing. What we do in deep freezing, we simply take the food, especially fruits and vegetable, and kept it in a very low temperature. Once we kept in a very low temperature, the microorganisms cannot grow in it because it's become an extreme condition for their survival. That is why to most of the food, vegetables such as spinach and all, and fruits like mango, apple, these are kept in for cold storage before they are transported to other areas. Another method of preservation is chemical preservation. What is chemical preservation? It's simply sprinkling of chemicals such as sodium benzoate or potassium metabisulfite on the food material. This act on the bacteria or fungi attacking the food. Now, let us take another topic, which is nitrogen cycle. First, there is 78% of nitrogen in the atmosphere, right? Nitrogen is fixed in many ways. Simply, during the rainy season when there is lightning act on the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it directly into nitrate. Nitrate is the simplest form in which all the living organism can consume in which plant can consume the nitrogen, and from plants it gets into the animals. Okay, so if there is lightning, it directly convert the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate, which is absorbed by the plants with the help of their roots. This plant is eaten by animals. Simple it is. Once this animal die, it is decomposed by decomposers. What these decomposers do? These decomposers convert the nitrogen of the animal into the ammonia, and this process is known as ammonification. So far it is clear, right? From plants it goes into the animals. We have proteins. Proteins contain nitrogen. So the hard protein, such a complex protein, is break down into ammonia and the process is known as ammonification. Once ammonia is formed, it is converted into nitrite with the help of a bacteria called nitrifying bacteria, and this process is known as nitrification. This nitrite is another converted into nitrate, and the process is known as again nitrification with the help of nitrifying bacteria. This nitrate is again consumed by plants. If plants are not consuming this nitrate, the denitrifying bacteria act on the excess of nitrate and release it back into the atmosphere. So far we have gone through two ways through which nitrification cycle occur. Another and the last way is this atmospheric nitrogen is fixed by nitrogen fixing bacteria present in the soil. They convert nitrogen into ammonia. On this ammonia, nitrifying bacteria act and convert them into nitrite. So how chemical conversion of atmospheric nitrogen is occur? Let me tell you. Nitrogen is present in the form of N2 in the atmosphere. Nitrogen fixation bacteria act on this N2 fixing bacteria and convert it into ammonia. Okay. On this ammonia, nitrifying bacteria act and convert it into first nitrite. Once nitrite is formed, then again nitrifying bacteria act on it and convert it into nitrate. So this nitrate is again converted into nitrate with the help of a nitrifying bacteria. This nitrate is either consumed by plants through their root, or this excess of nitrate is back released into the atmosphere as N2 and nitrogen with the help of denitrifying bacteria, and the process is known as denitrification. So this is the simplest way of nitrogen cycle. I hope you get the nitrogen cycle. Now that we have covered so many topics, let us recall them one by one. The study of microorganisms is known as microbiology. Microorganisms are present everywhere. They are of 5 types: bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, viruses. Microorganisms can be useful as they are helpful in the nitrogen fixation, making of the medicine. They can be harmful as they can spoil our food and they can cause several diseases. Fungi are the plant-like microorganisms. Viruses are the link between living and non-living, as they are considered both living and non-living. They can cause several diseases in our body. Humans suffer from many kind of diseases such as TB, typhoid due to the presence of microorganisms. They are mainly responsible for food spoilage. This food can be protected by the process of treatment, different type of treatment known as food preservation. The treatment types are bottling, sun drying, etc. Microorganisms are responsible for spoiling of food. This food can be protected by the treatment known as food preservation. This food preservation can be done by various methods such as vacuuming, such as sun drying, bottling, use of sugar or chemical preservatives. There is nitrogen present in the atmosphere. Microorganisms also help in the fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. That's all for the today. I hope you have learnt a lot. We will meet in another lecture with another topic. Thank you.